Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd here to talk about the Doctor Who episode called Boom. And Boom comes from a landmine that the Doctor finds himself having stepped on the way to try to help someone who apparently was in trouble. That's always how it starts, isn't it? And what we have here is he cannot move, he cannot get overly excited, overly angry, anything that would change any kind of physiological condition that he is in before he stepped on the mine, or else the mine goes off. So he has to get Ruby to come and see what kind of mine it is, finds that it's made by a company that essentially supports war by making a calculation of what acceptable casualties would be. And so if someone is injured to a point where it would take too much time to fix them up and put them back in the field, they just eliminate them altogether. And so we have a shot across at the military-industrial complex as Eisenhower talked about some years right before leaving the presidency of the United States. We have the idea of war itself being good business for defense contractors. And we have the Marines that are fighting here are ordained Anglican clergy taking a shot at the church. And there may or may not be an enemy out there. There's nobody, they've never seen it. They just know it's out there. It's that comes with the fog and the mud and the things such as this. And all of this is revealed. And all of this time, the Doctor can't move. Now, I think that they were trying to stir up some people by picking the subject in the way that they did. This, by the way, is the first episode of the new season that was written by Stephen Moffat. He has 2 episodes that he's written. This is the first. And it goes apart from what we usually expect from Moffat. Usually, he is a puzzle builder, and the puzzle has to be solved before the episode ends. And in this case, he's doing something that's completely different from what he's done before. And in fact, in an interview, he indicated that this would be as far away as he has ever done any kind of writing for television. And it shows here. And it's clever writing. And it shows off, to my mind, just what kind of actor Ncuti Gatwa is. Imagine, if you will, the Doctor, who is a very energetic, this Doctor is very energetic, he's very kinetic, he is very emotive, and he has to stand still and restrain all of that. He can't move, essentially. He cannot raise his voice. He can't get mad. He can't get emotional in any way. And yet, you see that, all of it. You see the regret that he has. We see the fear. We see the concern for others. And we also see kind of a righteous indignation. And all of this while one foot is on a landmine. He, of course, is able to figure out what kind of mine it is based on the company that made it, and the reason it has lights around it is because it looks good in showrooms, interestingly. And we have an ambulance which is run by an AI, and they come through and they look and see if the injuries are easy enough to fix to put them back in the battlefield. If not, they just terminate them because there's a formula that the company has come up with of what's they consider reasonable casualties. And so you don't waste your time trying to fix up people who would take too long to heal. So all of this goes into this story, and it is really something to watch. And we know that the Doctor's not going to die. We know that Rose is not going. We know that Ruby is not going to die. We know that everybody else is kind of, on the edge of all this. We learn a little bit about the Doctor himself in that he phrases himself as being a multidimensional being, which is something that we might have been able to infer, but it's never been said straight out before. And I think that's kind of interesting. It explains how regeneration works. It's a multidimensional type of thing where somebody dies and then from the other dimension you get the regeneration energy that rebuilds you. However, I would think that if he blew up in this, no amount of regeneration would put him back together. And in fact, they indicate that the type of explosive it is, which uses the energy in the body, would be something that would take half the planet out. So it's something we learn about this, that the Doctor has a great deal of energy in a physical science kind of way in his body, and could be very dangerous if he were to spontaneously combust or something like that. So I find it just an edge of your seat type of episode, despite the fact that neither he nor Ruby are going to die. What we have here, though, is you see someone who tries to get all of this done while not being able to move, while not being able to get too excited about it. And yet we see all of that, and I think that's just brilliant. I'd like to know what you think about this. Please put it in the comments below. I'd like to know what you think. And, of course, if you've not yet subscribed, please do so. And click a like, if you will. We'd appreciate that very much. We'll be back next week with another Doctor Who review. But stick around. On tomorrow, we'll have a Babylon 5 retro review, followed by Deep Space Nine retro review on Wednesday. And on Friday, another Star Trek Discovery. There's only a couple of episodes of that left, and so we'll be covering that. So for one of those things, please come back and see us. And until then, don't go far.